Okay, hello everyone. Welcome back to the Offsiders Football Podcast. Today we've got a little World Cup special. Getting into the World Cup mood, getting into the World Cup theme.
Woohoo!
It's 3 weeks out, I believe.
Finally November.
Yeah.
So it's just over 3 weeks. Yeah.
It's just over 3 weeks out. 3 more game weeks of Premier League, then we are firmly in World Cup action. And today we're going to start off nice and easy. We've gone through the kits. Now we're going through the stadiums. There's 8 stadiums in total.
Yeah.
And got some bangers in there. So let's get into it. First, obviously, we're going to start with the fact of the day as per usual, and that's going to be Mateo. Take us away.
All right. So this is quite an interesting one because I actually never quite thought about this ever happening ever, but Wayne Rooney and Gareth Bale and Kevin Davies are the only players in the history of the Premier League to have scored a goal, assisted a goal, as well as scored an own goal in the same game.
In the same game.
In the same game.
Jesus.
Okay, so it's only happened 3 times, but that's 3 more times than I would have thought.
Yeah, that's a
happened.
lot. That's crazy, eh?
Sure. 3 goal contributions.
That's the unholy hat trick.
The unholy hat trick.
Like, Jesus.
Some would call it the unperfect hat trick.
Unperfect hat trick, yes. That's very interesting.
Yeah,
So who was it again?
Wayne Rooney,
Yeah?
Gareth Bale,
Yes.
and Kevin Davies.
Gareth Bale.
Yeah.
Of all people.
Gareth Bale's got a clunky head. It probably bounced off his forehead.
I feel like I remember something hearing about Gareth Bale doing it, but Wayne Rooney,
Crazy.
who's the other dude?
Kevin Davies.
Wayne Rooney's interesting because I don't ever remember him scoring an own goal.
Wayne Rooney, and I'll tell you exactly who he did it to. It was with Stoke, I think. If I'm not
Against
mistaken.
Stoke.
Against
Yeah.
Stoke in
Understandable.
2012.
Yeah.
Very understandable.
Yeah. So that's why I know that.
Sick.
Okay, very interesting. All right, so now let's get into the action. And we're going to start with the Lusail Stadium. I might have butchered that. I'm probably going to butcher a lot of these names.
I think all of us will.
Yeah.
It's a stadium that's going to hold the final. It's got a capacity of 80,000, and it was opened this very year.
As with most of these are.
Yeah.
As with a lot of
them,
them.
See up to them
most
are
of them.
very, very recent.
Basically built for the World Cup.
Purpose
Yeah.
built, 100%.
So what's interesting about the stadium is that they
Is that
used.
too sexy?
It's very nice, but we'll get to that. Firstly, I'd like to point out that they used recycled water to irrigate the plants around the stadium, and the construction site conserves 40% more fresh water than conventional stadium developments. So the arena is completely water sustainable.
Sure. So complete water sustainable.
Well,
Mostly.
40% more than the average stadium.
And I feel like
Which-
stadiums use a shitload of water.
Yeah.
They use a
Considering
lot of
it's
water.
in Dubai,
Yeah,
that's
that's
really
yeah.
good.
I feel
really
feel
good.
like that's probably why they're doing this kind of thing because I think water is a
Is
scarce
the thing.
Yeah, also
thing
to,
there.
to think that they have to run all those fancy air cons that they have in the
the
stadiums.
aircons.
How much water that
Yeah,
has to go
facts.
into there.
Facts.
Yeah, so it's quite interesting. But let's
No,
get on to the rating.
that's really cool.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's such a nice stadium.
I think it's stunning. Yeah.
And listen,
the colorway.
the colorway is just so elegant.
It's
I
giving
don't
me
know.
what I wanted the final stadium in South Africa to be.
Then the
This-
FNB Stadium.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
It this is what I wanted it
Listen,
to
it's
be.
got similar vibes.
It's on the right. It's on the
Yeah.
side. This photo that we're looking at now looks exactly like the Alliance.
Yes.
Yeah,
Um,
it does give
yeah.
Alliance
Yeah.
vibes.
It's
very
like
much so.
that same like very very small detail, but just golden.
Yeah.
And it kind of like gives me like desert vibes. You know?
Yeah.
So
Like-
I did read a thing by doing a little bit of research that apparently the design on the side of the stadium is off of it's like the
Traditional architecture.
it's not traditional lanterns
Okay.
In,
that's sick. That's sick.
In the Middle East. Kind
yeah
of
Middle Eastern cultures.
Sure.
So it's like that same like I'm sure you guys have seen them like little designs. And
Yeah,
stuff on it.
yeah,
for
I
sure,
know
for
it,
sure,
yeah.
for
Yeah,
sure.
it's got a specific name on
Yeah.
it. I can't remember.
Listen,
Okay.
for me, when it's got some real purpose
Yes.
behind like that
Yeah.
kind of shit, I love it.
There's like
It's so
when there's thoughts and like
Yeah.
you say like they
Real
didn't
thought.
just put a pattern, like the pattern has meaning
Yeah,
to
yeah.
it 100%.
and
meaning to the
beyond,
country.
Yeah.
beyond
Yeah.
the outside of the stadium, I think like we'll pop a little image up on the screen of the inside of the stadium. Just it kind of reminds me of like sand dunes.
Yes.
The way that the top of the stadium
Yeah.
kind of curves. I'm seeing this kind of sand dune, which looks just so
very
dope to
fitting
me.
for the vibes, you know.
Yeah,
They
it,
vibe
vi-
well.
Very,
it
very
vibes
fitting.
well with
Yeah.
the area.
I think being the final stadium captures the city well.
I think a brilliant final stadium.
Yeah.
Honestly, one of the better ones you've seen in a long time.
I did also see that apparently that after the World Cup ends, they cut in the capacity in half.
Sure.
It's going from 80,000 to 40,000.
That's insane.
They're doing that with a lot of the stadiums,
Yeah.
actually. I
Which
saw.
is, I mean, fair. How often are you going to see a football in Qatar?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so very, very fair.
Okay. Next up, we've got Al Khor or Al Bait Stadium. It's got a capacity of 60,000 and it was opened last year. And it's also the stadium that's going to host the opening game, which is an interesting bit of
Okay.
information.
All right.
And it's very interesting. Like Luke said about the previous stadium, Lusail. It's the upper tier is going to be removed from the stadium with the seats and be repurposed to create sporting facilities in Qatar and overseas.
Okay.
That's super dope.
Yeah. And the skybox level will be turned into a 5-star hotel,
Jesus.
What?
while a shopping center, food court, gym, and multi-purpose hall will be incorporated into the stadium building.
Jesus. So it's basically not going to be a stadium anymore.
Yeah.
That's insane.
That's crazy.
So a very interesting little stadium.
But
this one.
On that note, that talks to something that I heard someone talk about not too long ago, where they said, they've gone and they've purposefully built all these stadiums, but as Riley pointed out just now, like how often are they going to be used?
Yeah.
So it's good to hear that beyond them removing the seating, which I guess does kind of in a way act a little bit more sustainable. Maybe they'll use the chairs somewhere else.
Yeah.
But good to hear that the stadium is actually going to be used for something more than
like a community
Yeah.
area.
one time
Yeah.
in a FIFA
A hotel.
Yeah.
And look at the stadium. I mean, it's going to be such a pretty hotel. Man.
Yeah.
On first sight of this stadium, I don't like it.
You're not just wrong, you're stupid. Now wait just a minute. And you're ugly, just like your mum.
Really?
I think it to me it's too boxy. I really
Yeah.
don't like a square stadium.
So it's got
But
a
it's
square
not square.
shape. It's got some waves. In
I
the
think
pattern
I think-
ripples.
I think
rectangle.
The,
Go
the,
outside.
The top view.
Go
The
outside.
top view
That
is
one.
quite
Yeah, but
nice.
it's just this is just an outer layer.
I know it still looks ugly.
I think it's so original. I love it, man.
Listen, I think
really
if
love
I'm not
it.
mistaken, a lot of the stadiums were built with like their culture in mind.
Yes,
So I
yes,
think
yes.
if I'm not mistaken, this one was also supposed to kind of
So-
represent.
yeah,
So this
It
one
looks like a nomadic hut.
this
You
one
remember the huts,
um,
the tents.
Yeah,
it takes,
Tents,
it
excuse
takes
me,
its
tents,
name
tents,
from
tents.
Bait al-Shar, which were tents historically used by nomadic people in Qatar and in the Gulf region.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
So it's got a lot of meaning behind it. I really like the design. It's super unique.
It gives me big temple vibes.
It does. Listen, I
Desert
think
temple.
it's not as
Minecraft.
cool as the one before.
Mm.
But that being said, it's still. I also still think it's pretty cool.
It sets a really good tone for the opening match. Like you start up, this stadium shows up, you're really like, whoa, this is different.
Yeah.
This is not the same thing.
That's true.
I do like the little bridge.
I do like
kinda
the
dig
bridge
that,
into, like,
bridge,
coming
yeah.
into this big red
Yeah.
entryway.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so next up we have Al Janub or Al Wakra. They all have some of them just have two names. I don't know. I don't really know what's going on.
I don't know
to
what's
be
his
quite
first name
honest.
Some of them had previous names and then that was renamed.
Oh yes, okay.
So
So
I think just say this name.
yeah,
Just say that.
So it was open in 2019. That's why it has two names. And it's a 40,000 capacity stadium. The design is inspired by the sails of traditional dhow boats in the seafaring past of Al Wakra. What I really like about this is they use an innovative cooling system and retractable roof, which means that the stadium can be used all year round.
Because there's so much rain, you know.
Sand.
That's probably it, yes.
Um,
It's beautiful.
I love it.
It's beautiful.
it is nice.
Love
It looks.
it's very nice.
To me, it looks like a turtle.
So give me some fin. Noggin. Dude.
It looks ocean. Yeah, it looks ocean.
Especially with those
yeah,
little...
Ah, the
little
legs.
side
I didn't even
pieces.
notice the little legs.
Yeah.
That's a little
It
paw.
definitely does look aquatic.
Oh,
Yes.
look at it.
Which is what they were going for. They were going for sales.
That's exactly what they got.
Listen, I love it.
I
also love it.
mark this.
That look there. Oof.
Oh,
Yeah, the view of just
even,
the roof
even
is
the
stunning.
way the roof can recline,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. It's,
Yeah.
like,
Awesome.
it's just like
And
sails.
the thing is, it's not
Oh,
it's not
at
a
night.
hard roof. It's like
Yeah.
it's almost like literally a sail.
Sails.
Yeah.
At
It's
night, it
beautiful.
is bussing.
Yeah.
Damn. Did you see that?
Yeah, the lights they got going there, it's awesome. And you know what? Something that's underrated, not often talked about with stadiums, is the stadium complex itself.
Mm.
You know, like the actual area around the stadium is just fucking is sick.
Yeah.
You know, it's awesome. I really like the
I
stadium.
think the stands ruin it. I'm not a fan of the I don't know. Like I feel like the actual stadium is so elegant, and then it's got like these Pepsi Cola
Yeah.
freaking
I
waves.
know what you mean, but
on
the intention is not to see them though.
Yeah. There's people sitting there and you don't see it.
Yeah.
But also, like, I can see where they've gone with the cutaway in terms of obviously
the
it's
ocean.
based off
Ocean, yeah.
off the ocean.
for
and-
sure.
Yeah.
I mean, those
So-
are
But it
definitely
probably
waves.
isn't the best option they could have taken.
Yeah.
For sure.
Okay. Next up, we have the Ahmad bin Ali Stadium, opened in 2020 with a capacity of 40,000. Yeah, listen, this one not too much interesting about it, other than the fact that the stadium was awarded a 5-star rating for its design and construction from Global Sustainability Assessment System, along with a Class A rating for its construction process and seasonal energy efficiency ratio compliance certificate.
Holy
So also very sustainable, energy efficient. Yeah,
They really are
Purpose
going that
nicely.
direction, doing
Yeah.
quite well.
for sure. Yeah.
How sick is this?
Super dope.
That is
with
really
the,
cool.
with the blue flags.
Yeah,
I
that is really
do
cool.
like the flag design on the
Yeah.
side. Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, we'll throw up a photo of what the stadium looked like prior
Yeah.
to its redevelopment, but this thing, I mean, this was really just
Sure. Yeah.
an
Previously,
eyesore.
Just hideous.
it really just looked like sure.
It looks like it came out of a Happy Meal.
So that being said, what they've turned it into is crazy. Like what it is now is such a dope stadium.
I'll be honest though, the actual design is really basic. But the fact that they've got the LEDs, they can put the flags up and stuff, is nice. But the actual design of the stadium is pretty
I think
basic. Like
It's-
it just looks
is
like a
it-
stadium.
I mean,
is it though? 'Cause it's
I
got
dig that.
This around the
That's pretty
side.
subtle though. I think that
it's subtle. I didn't see that at first.
I
I
don't
don't
think
know.
that's
I think
subtle
it's
at
the
all.
weakest
I
we've
think
seen
that's
for
I
sure.
think that's
That's the main feature.
Oh, you saying this? That's massive.
Okay,
Yeah.
to be fair, on the ground, definitely that's a main feature. From our angle, it is quite. It's not.
I think
Yeah,
it's the weakest of the ones we've seen.
I really like
Yeah.
the roof structure. I think that's
I do-
really
I like it
unique
as well.
I do
because
like
you
I
don't
like it as
often
well.
because often it's the other way around because it almost seems inverted. Normally, it's like the structure on the outside and then it goes on the inside.
Mm.
This one, it's got
This
got
one-
the
this one
beams and then
to
the
me-
structure on the inside.
This one to me is still above the tent one.
I agree. I prefer this over the tent.
So,
I kind of like the common theme that they have going on with these little little sticking out areas.
Yeah.
along the
Yeah,
sides.
yeah,
that's
yeah.
awesome as well.
I kind of like that.
Lots of the stadiums seem to have that because I mean, almost every single one we've looked at has
True.
that type of
True.
thing with it.
But I mean,
little
look
protruding-
at your stadiums in South Africa. They don't
Yeah.
have those
Nothing.
kind of things.
Yeah.
I don't
I
think
don't
any
think so.
stadiums have things like that.
I'm assuming it must be for like congregation areas almost, and that area must be cooler as well.
Yeah, it's probably like little ticket areas
Yeah.
for
whatever it may
each
be.
section of the
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, very nice.
Functional and good looking.
Exactly.
Next, we have Khalifa International Stadium.
Oh, Mia,
You've been waiting for that one, haven't you?
I haven't.
So this one's actually the oldest of the lot. It's a 40,000 seater, but built in 1976. The stadium's got a lot of history. It's hosted the Asian Games, Arabian Gulf Cup, not golf, Gulf, and AFC Asian Cup. And in 2019, it hosted the IAAF World Athletics Championships,
Has it always looked like this?
along with the FIFA
don't-
World
probably
Club,
not.
the FIFA Club World Cup.
Sure, I think so.
If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure this entire area that it's in is like a whole like athletic sporting.
Yes, it's a
Okay.
sports center.
Yeah, I mean, so we've got fields over there. That's probably some shit as well.
Yeah,
I'm pretty
it's a
sure
sports
that
centre,
I'm
yeah.
pretty sure the F1 track is also around
Ah,
this
hectic.
area as well.
Okay, so it's like a sporting complex
Yeah.
for real.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, and the arches were in the original design. They were repurposed and redeveloped for use in this World Cup.
Damn.
It's like a weirdly slanted Wembley Stadium.
It's I think it's a really cool
I think it's
stadium.
cool as well.
I think it's really cool.
I think it's cool. I
It's
think
quite
from
nice.
the inside, it also looks super sick. Like I don't know. It's something about that like shape that I'm seeing, and the thinness of the roof.
Yeah.
it's like, kind
Yeah.
of sick.
It kind of looks like an eye
Does
with
kinda look like
eyelids, bro,
eye,
and
it
everything.
does.
Like,
Ooh, that's kind of creepy.
kind of creepy, but sick as well.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's awesome.
Next up, we got Education City Stadium. Which
Not-
interesting name.
Yeah,
Very
not off
interesting
to a
name.
great start at the name.
Yeah,
It's-
education. It sounds like a Minecraft mod.
It's got 40,000 seats and was opened in 2020. The facade of the stadium features triangles that form complex diamond-like geometrical patterns, which appear to change color with the sun's movement across the sky.
That is kind of cool.
Like diamonds, the stadium's design represents quality, durability, and resilience, and will become something to be treasured, both for the memories it holds and its future value to the country. That's the official Qatar statement on the stadium.
Sure. Yeah, listen.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool.
It's
Ash-
dope.
It's really
Ash-
cool.
Ash-
I think it's sick.
It looks armored. It's fucking sick.
Yeah.
Mm.
Listen, and the way that like in the photos you'll see there's lights with colors, and then just go back one more time. Even the normal like just your standard lighting, it looks like like diamond.
Yeah, it
It
does.
looks like
It
diamond.
does.
It's got
It
that
does.
like reflection to
Even
it.
Yeah.
just in the sunlight,
Like that
the way
shimmer.
it reflects the sun.
Yeah.
This is
so
a dope
nice.
stadium
That's
as well.
really, really cool. I also
Again-
like that pattern on top. Like if
Yeah.
if you see like there's like different coloration with the pattern.
Yeah.
I like that. Like what
Yeah.
they've done there.
They
Don't know what it
nailed
means.
they
but
nailed the diamond design.
They did.
yeah,
They did.
definitely.
The inside again for me feels like a bit of a miss because like I don't know, I'm like these green. I don't know.
I
Not
like
huge on the green.
I kind of like the spikes though, like the little like
Yeah.
shards.
I just don't know if I'm a fan of the green with the again. I feel like the
Yeah.
stadium's so
Strikes are
elegant. and
cool,
this-
but I'd like the green to match the pitch.
or even have them like grey, like the outside.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. You see,
You know?
you see, something like that.
There was
So I think-
definitely a reason as to why they did it, but
Yeah.
it's unbeknownst to us.
It stands out, but it also doesn't.
It really
Yeah.
doesn't. It like
Yeah.
kind of blends in. You
Yeah,
know.
which is, I think is a good thing.
It's
as
really
well.
nice.
I
It's
agree.
classy.
Yeah.
Next up, Stadium 974.
last of the stadiums.
No, second last.
Second
Second
last.
last.
This one had by far the most information
This
when I
this
looked
one
it
is
up.
sick.
So
I have a biased
Basically-
opinion, but this is my favorite.
the only waterfront venue with a spectacular view of the Doha skyline, Stadium 974 was constructed using standard certified shipping containers and modular steel elements, echoing the nearby port and the industry history of the port.
It's so sick.
Yeah.
This is-
Who
this is
who said
sick.
you know a whole stadium containers, my boy? Ain't crazy. Like it's so cool.
Nice.
A small thing, the fact that each container has its number on it.
Yeah.
So you can say, oh, this is container 77. This is container 865. You know, so you know exactly which container is which.
And also like it's actually you can see that like they're actually pre-used containers.
Yeah.
So
It's
can
not like shit that they built.
Yeah.
just say
Yeah.
one more fact before we continue. This is the first ever FIFA compliant stadium that can be fully dismantled and repurposed post
Insane.
event.
Insane. And the thing is also being inside the stadium, you would never tell.
No.
Like sitting in the
Right.
seats, you could never tell.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think based on the facts behind it alone, it's one of my favorites. And the containers, like you guys have said, are
And,
So-
and you
so
know,
cool.
I think this one is the one that relies the least on like kind of its design to stand out.
Yeah.
But there's something about the skeleton, that white skeleton you see,
Yeah.
with like just holding the containers like a bookshelf, just kind of looks dope.
And like the colorfulness coming
Yeah.
out of that as
Yeah.
well, you know,
Yeah.
it is really, really cool.
It was a
Exactly.
clever way to do it, to use color without, because we've seen a lot of them use lighting and that
Yes,
to bring
yes,
color into the
that's true.
stadium.
Because I think that you can't really use lights in an effective way with this one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know?
it's probably harder. Yeah.
Yeah.
super
Very, very
unique,
cool.
super
I'm
unique.
a huge fan.
Finally, we have Al Tumama Stadium. It's got a capacity of 40,000 as well. Also opened last year.
It's crazy how I think basically every single one of them, except I think it was the
Like one or
final
two,
game
yeah.
stadium,
Yeah.
has 40,000.
There's one with 80, one with 60, and the rest have 40.
Yeah.
And the one with 80 is going to be cut down to 40 after the
Yeah.
World Cup.
So basically all of them have
Yeah.
40.
The Al Tumama Stadium design represents the gafia, which is a traditional woven cap worn by men and boys across the Middle East.
Okay. That is cool. That's intricate,
Yeah,
eh?
look at it from look at it from the top.
My
Look at it from
goodness.
The top. The top view is my favorite.
Oh, it's like an offset.
Yeah.
It is sick.
That's crazy.
This is probably my favorite design.
But I mean, also again, the complex. The complex
The
is
complex
awesome.
around is just and again, when you look at it from above, it almost feels like it literally go to the top view. Literally looks like it like fades just fades
Yeah.
into
It's like fizzing away.
such a cool
It looks
design.
exactly like a woven cap, which is
Yeah.
what they're going for.
Yeah.
They've just nailed it.
How it's insane to me that they've made a stadium look like material. Like
They've made it look like the entire thing's woven out of cotton.
literally.
Yeah,
That's amazing. That's your
I love it. This view here, it's just so
the amount of panels that must be, dude. Because think about it. I mean, each of those things is a teeny tiny little panel.
And if you notice on the top, it's got that texture. It's where
It's
every
like- oh, it's
little
like-
panel has got like a little bit of a
Yes.
which again something so subtle but so sick.
Yeah, makes such
Something
a big
you'll
difference.
never see from the ground.
Oh no way.
But such a cool detail to see
Yeah.
from up here.
Literally. And again, like one thing that we've been complaining about for most of these stadiums is the seating. But I think the seats are dope.
They are, except I'm either getting Mexico or Italy vibes.
I was getting Mexico
I
vibe.
was thinking Christmas.
Happy Christmas. It's Christmas. Merry Christmas. Merry Chrysler.
Okay, you see,
But
this
in
is
a
my-
Muslim
my-
country, I
my
don't think
problem-
so.
My problem is
I'm getting-
nowhere we've gotten Middle East or World
Yeah,
Cup.
yeah, I see what you're
You know what I'm
saying.
saying? So I'm
But
not
I mean-
too-
I'm
not
getting
too
La
sure.
Povier
I'm not too sure.
takeaway pizza box.
Why do they decide on green, white, and red?
I don't know.
That seems so random.
They're pretty standard though. There's pretty standard
Yeah.
stadium seat colors, you know, red.
But is not.
But all at the
is-
same
is
time
not-
in this
Yeah.
in this pattern.
What is the color of the flag?
It's
Is
like
it
that maroon
maroon
and
and
white.
white?
Yeah,
Is there no green in it?
there's no green. No,
Okay.
definitely not.
Okay. That was an interesting look. What's everyone's favorite?
Mine's definitely Stadium 974. I do have a love for containers. I'm a container guy. And I think just the ingenuity about the whole thing makes a lot of sense. And it's a stupid thing, but the fact that they can just take the stadium away, just like knock it down, not knock it down, but like dismantle it and be like, sick, there was never a stadium here. You know, it's a crazy concept to me. Because I think again, stadiums can often be such an eyesore, especially if they're not being used. You know, because then they become derelict, and so I think they thought ahead. They thought very far ahead, and past the fact. And containers are sick. So yeah, 974 for me.
Yeah, I'll be honest. That's probably my favorite. But for the sake of difference, I'm gonna go with the Al Bayt Stadium, the opener. I love the zigzaggy pattern.
Yeah.
It's more rectangular approach. I really like as opposed to normal, more circular stadiums. I'm just a really big fan. Super original, very different. Big fan. Either of you lads got yours yet?
I do.
Matteo, what's yours?
Has to be the opening stadium. I mean the final
stadium.
as well.
Yeah.
the
The
Listen,
cell.
it was between that and the cap.
Yes,
Altumama.
yes.
Altumama.
Because they're both so cool. But the thing
Yeah.
is, with the final stadium, what I've realized is that not only does it have the best interior, but there's something about like that roof structure which kind of reminds me of like a bamboo kind of
Scaffold.
Yeah,
scaffolding,
kind of,
which
yeah,
I literally drool over.
Yeah.
so
That's lovely.
yeah, it has to be the stadium for me. It's just
Very
gorgeous
fair.
all around.
Very, very fair pick. Luke, what do you got?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go to the same. Also, final stadium. I think
It's just so clean.
I think what does it for me is that like it's such a where the design comes from is so simple
Yeah.
and like it just turns out perfectly.
They really did do the absolute most.
Like,
Even the roof is such a cool. Like I'm not talking about inside, but like the
Yeah.
white panels on the
Yeah,
top. just
actually,
sick.
we didn't actually talk about that, but like it almost looks like a cushion.
Yeah, so
You know?
so cool.
I want to lie there.
Same.
I very much
I
would like
would
to
have the
lie
best
there.
nap there.
like they could 100% just made it a flat white.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no,
It's about that's the subtle details which you can only see from the aerial shots. which
I,
are just-
I think that's one thing that we noticed with all these stadiums. There's a lot of subtle details. That they've
Yes.
added.
mind-bending.
Thank you guys very much for listening. We appreciate you. We'll catch you in the next one.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers, guys.